Alright, there we go. I accidentally took a picture before I started the video. So, I felt the need to put out a video. I know it's been a couple of weeks. I'm gonna try to keep like a weekly thing going with these things. But there was something that's on my mind, or it's been on my mind, it's been bothering me. You know, I'm in College Station right now. This is A&M. I just like taking walks. I might go back to school. I still got some GI Bill left. I can go get a master's or whatever. That's pretty much my life, you know, like, I still work a 9 to 5 technically. I've been working overnight for a grocery store. I'll keep it anonymous, but anyway, I was doing 40 hours a week, a 9 to 5, and I went to go visit a buddy of mine, and I think I brought this up in one of my previous videos, but he's molding his life the way he wants. And I just got tired of working a 9 to 5, 40 hours all the time. You know, I still work there, but I only do 3 nights now. Because I was just like, well, I because of my raises and everything, I make enough. I don't need to work 5 days a week. I can work 3 nights a week and then figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life with the 4 days I got. So I'm just sort of taking this time to readjust my eating habits, how much I'm going to spend on meals, because now I can't go out to eat as much, and I wanted to cut back on that anyway, and I'll get to why that is here in a sec. And, you know, organizing, okay, what I put in my fridge, I'm for sure going to eat, you know. And while this is all going down, I've had a flea infestation in my house, and I have 3 cats. One of them's blind, so she's inside most of the time. When I'm gone, like out and about, she's always inside. I don't leave her out. My other 2 cats are roamers. They like to go outside, and my AC in my house sucks. So my house was built in 1942. Or 43. It's from the 40s. It's like World War II era home. It's made out of wood. I'll see if I can like make a video of my house there or something like that. But anyway, like, I only have 2 AC units. It's a 2-bedroom house. It's only like 840 square feet or something like that. It's got 1 bathroom with like a shower. I don't even have a bathtub, but I don't like take baths anyway. Yeah, so I actually got 3 AC units, but one of them isn't hooked up right now, and I don't really use that room. It's like a meditation art room / nerd room. I got like some of my collectibles, but I'm actually starting to get into minimalistic lifestyle, not extreme minimalism, because I do want to keep some of my figures, but you know, I was a collector for the longest time, and I still kind of am. And I'm getting tired of having all this crap in my house, you know, because some of it's worth quite a bit, and that's a huge neurosis going on in my head, you know, how much all this stuff is worth and whether or not I want to insure it, or I could just sell it and then put that money towards land or something that I really want to do, because I would love the chance to have land and then to build a house on it or something like that. But you know, I'm cutting back on everything I have, and I'm noticing that there's a lot of consumerism, and I know that America is a capitalistic society. Like, it's the norm to want to go out and buy something. You know, like, I was brought up that way my whole life. When my dad was still alive, he was a huge materialist. More so than I am, actually. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just like he had a baseball collection. That was his thing. But it wasn't just that. It was like, I want, you know, a big house. I want, you know, I don't know, like, it was so long ago, but he had like suits and stuff and all this stuff, and I hate suits. See, this is what I'm wearing. I'm chilling with sandals. I got like some trekking pants. These are really breathable. They're not, because it's like 90 right now. I live in Texas, and I'm wearing a t-shirt, and this is how I like to keep it. Like, I have a ball cap so I can keep my hair back. Otherwise, it just kind of, goes out. But, this is typically how I like to dress. I like to dress casual and comfortable. I have a couple pairs of jeans for nice events, but I'm not a big jean guy. I like my yoga sweatpants, or I like these trekking pants are literally my favorite, because pockets. I love cargo pants, but these pockets are in the inside, so I really like that. But we all have desires, okay? But when I used to work for a grocery store back in the day, I'm not going to say which one, but food would be thrown away. Like, literally a whole pallet of food that so-called expired. They didn't give it to a homeless shelter. They didn't give it to a humane society for the homeless or anything like that. That food just goes straight to the garbage. And I'm sick of this diversity in the human race. We're brought up to think of ourselves as Americans, but why don't we start thinking ourselves as human beings and respecting other human beings, regardless of what nationality or what country you're from, regardless of what skin color you are. There are people literally starving to death. And every time I'm tempted to go out to eat, or every time I'm tempted to go get food just because my tongue wants something to eat, instead of like, oh, my body, it's different if my body needs it. I still find I need to eat meat. I get very sickly if I don't eat meat, but I keep it to organic beef, and even that I keep it to a minimum. I eat it once every other day. I eat like 10 ounces. And then on the days I don't eat meat, I eat rice and beans. And then I'll eat fruit. And then I have like these veggie shakes, but I love my mango shakes. They're my favorites. I do mango, pineapple, coconut water, Kyra orange. I do the Altufa mangoes though. And then I do a banana. And I like to do that. But if you're going to put the banana in there, my friend told me this, the potassium gets canceled out by the acidity of the OJ or something like that. So if you need potassium, eat a banana either 30 minutes before you consume the shake or like an hour after you consume the shake. Something like that. Just a little pro tip. But there is tons of food that is literally being thrown away. And we don't just do that with food. We do that with like vacuums or with clothes. I need to go get the newest brand of this. Why? It's just a name. Like that's all it is. I mean, it's different if you go for something that's got like quality and you're like, okay, this is gonna last me 10 years. Then okay, that's understandable. Or if you work on the oil fields and you got to provide for your family, and that's a really dirty job. So any dirty job where you're having to provide for people, those are not the cases I'm pointing out. The cases I'm pointing out are when we go to these shopping centers and we just splurge on whatever it may be. Figures, Pokemon cards, all this stuff, And something to help my dilemma, because my urge or my desire is to go buy like Pokemon this, Pokemon that. I was watching the old advanced series of Pokemon with Ash and his Corphish, and I was like, dang, that's a really cool Corphish. I really want one. So I started looking online, and I found a couple of figures and plushes, and I added it to my cart, but I didn't buy it yet, because I'm waiting a month to see if I still want it a month from now. But also, while I was looking through all this stuff, I found a fan-made plush, not made by a corporation. So I will support fan-made stuff. That, in my opinion, is different than corporations, because that I see as a work of art. And I'm not ever going to shame someone for wanting to buy a piece of art, even if it is a plush or a figure or whatever. Because you're providing that person not only a complimentary feedback on like, wow, you did a really good job, but you're also helping them. They may need that money to pay for stuff they need, so you're helping someone. But when you're shelling out big bucks to companies like Walmart, Target, I don't want to say Home Depot or Lowe's, because building houses are different, but all this stuff, like, it all comes down to there's a void somewhere in us, whether it be a lack of love in our life, a lack of fulfillment. That's probably it. There's a lack of something, and we are afraid to look there. But it's necessary we do look there, because it's a bottomless pit. Period. Bottomless pit. You will never feel fulfilled enough by buying all the figures, all the Legos, all the cards. You will never feel fulfilled enough. It's endless. It's an endless cycle until you reach the point where I'm getting close to it, if I haven't already reached it, where you're sick and tired of it. And then you're realizing how much damage it's causing on not only your mental clarity, mental health, but also it's clutter of the mind, and it's clutter of the earth. Like all this, it affects all this. We're constantly in a war with nature, whether it be mowing our own lawns or we have to eat to survive. Even if you're a vegetarian, you're still consuming something that's conscious, a plant. I forget what video it's from, but Alan Watts, there's a really cool lecture he did on food and all that stuff. And he talked about, the Buddhists say you got to try to be vegetarian or vegan, so that way you're doing as less harm as possible. But it doesn't matter if you eat an animal, if you eat plants. What I found is everyone's situation with diet is different, and we have two things inside of us. You got your tongue and you got your body, and your body will tell you what you need, but your tongue will try to deceive you. I want pizza. No, you like the taste of pizza. You don't need pizza. You'd be surprised how a concoction of rice, organic beef, or do chicken if that's your meat of choice. But yeah, so if you, for me, rice, organic beef, I throw a little bit of onion in there. I season it with Himalayan sea salt, cayenne pepper, and oregano. And then I chop up 2 small avocados, and I'll eat half of it, and I'll eat the other half a little later. But that, as a meal for the day, that satisfies me. And I'm not a gym rat. I don't try to go gain weight or do anything like that. That's not really a desire I have to fulfill. I like to go on walks, and occasionally I'll do calisthenics. But right now, I've just been going on walks, So, because I'm doing so much, I'm decluttering my home. Last night, I just went through a bunch of stuff where I was like, I don't need this, I don't want this, boom, get it all out, and I'm resetting myself to want to do more minimalism. I'm not really looking for extreme, because there's stuff that I don't necessarily want to let go of. Rice, stuff in the kitchen, rice cooker, that's one for sure. And then I just got a new blender. So this blender is it's a Vitamix. It's pretty cool. I use it for my veggie and fruit shakes, which I do almost every day anyway. So You know, like that's a must for me. Oh, and I've been keeping, so like if I buy like I don't drink soda, but I like fruit juice, and I've been trying to stick to glass jars only, like at the grocery store. So I've been saving those glass jars, and I'm switching from plastic cups to glass jars because I want to consume stuff out of glass or metal from now on, and no plastic, less plastic as possible. But yeah, so I've been saving those, and then the plastic packages for the drinks, I've been saving those. I've been rinsing them out with water though. I want to recycle those, but I gotta find a place near me that recycles those. But sorry, there's bugs everywhere. I like Texas, but I mean, bugs are a part of nature, so I'm just gonna have to get used to it. However, there are some bugs I absolutely despise, which it's definitely a hate relationship. I can't bring myself to love them, but it's mosquitoes and fleas. Like, I hate those things. Roaches, I dislike them. I don't necessarily hate them. Usually what I've been doing is I'll suck them up with the vacuum cleaner and then I'll dump them outside. So, but I've been keeping like, that's why I want to declutter my home. It's not really that bad, and I'll make a video of the inside, but it's gotten to the point where I just don't want a whole lot of stuff, and I even want my diet to be minimalistic. I'm actually okay eating the same thing every day. I don't really, I mean, every now and then I like to get fish, and I would get fish more often, but especially since I stepped down to part-time, it's just pricey, so I only do it every now and then. I just stick to beef. Or if I buy fish, I just have to make it up by eating rice and beans for a few days. But yeah, you'd be surprised how much you can sustain yourself with just rice, beans, a meat of your choice, and then just fruit. And then like veggies. I do my veggies in a shake because I'm not a big veggie person. However, I do want to start buying carrots again and eating carrots, because eating carrots is really beneficial. But yeah. Woo. There's a lot of cars. I wonder what's going on over there. Huh. But anyway, yeah, I feel like there's just too much consumerism. And we end up buying a lot of stuff that we don't need. And that we think we want, but, you know, it's different if you want to go buy something and then you cherish that thing for, you know, at least a few years or so. But when you end up buying something and then next week you want something new, and the thing you just bought the last week just doesn't satisfy anymore, you're burning out. And at that point, you need to like check yourself and be like, okay, maybe, you know, every time I buy something like a figure, something, it just isn't the same. Or maybe another thing is two things that help me is I limit myself, okay, how many figures am I allowed to have? And if I want to buy another one, I got to sell one. Or I got to trade it or something. You know, I got to get rid of it, period. So, because there's still a mini collector in me. I'm not ready for the extreme minimalism. Not yet. I still got those desires. But that's one thing that could help. And also, from here on out, buying used figures, not brand new. So that way you're not, because every time you go into Target and you buy a figure or a Lego set, it's just going to add to the conveyor belt. That bigger corporation, Lego.com and Hasbro.com and all that stuff, they're just going to keep printing plastic, you know? And eventually that plastic is going to end up in a landfill. May take 10 years, but eventually it's going to do it. And it's unnecessary plastic. It's just, you know, splurging at that point. So, but if you buy used, or if you buy it like from an artist of some kind, then that'll go a long way. So, but yeah, I just wanted to mainly hit this video on consumerism and just talking about it. It's ridiculous how much food we throw out, though. We could do something about that. You know, especially with people in other countries and in our country. You know, if you just want to be an American and say to heck with all the other countries, then I'm not going to judge you. But, you know, even in our country, there are Americans that are literally starving to death. You know, they've got all sorts of mental issues. That's why they're on the street to begin with. They're not on the street because no one loved them or, you know. We all have painful lives. My parents didn't help me to get where I did. Either I did it or God helped me. The job I'm at, God did that. I didn't do that. You know, the army, God helped me with that too. Friends I met on the way, you know, God helped me with a lot of stuff. But I guess what I'm getting at is, like, no one helped me to get where I'm at. No one human-wise. A higher power of some sort definitely helped me, but no one human-wise helped me to get to where I'm at. That was all, like, the life experiences that were carved out for me. But I didn't make that plan. God did. God made all of our plans, and we just have to have faith. Whatever your religion is, whatever spirituality you're into, you know. I'm not a proponent to believing that there's only one religion that will get you there. I think that's bullshit. I think that all of them lead to the same place in the end. It's all about developing a faith. You can look through all the historical facts of all the religions, and there's good stuff. Like, knowledge is good. I'm not saying it's a bad, but if you try to make knowledge your faith, if you try to make knowledge, this is the truth and only the truth. That may be your truth, but it's definitely not mine. You know, everybody has different things. And I'm more of like, I've got a little bit of Christian, I've got a little bit of Buddha. I got mostly Buddhism and a little bit of Taoism in there too. Mostly Buddhist and Taoist, but I'm like a Christian Boo Tao. Yeah. So, you know, like, I don't fall under one umbrella, because for me, I agree with Alan Watts and Ram Dass, more so Alan Watts, but you know, both of them have said that for them, one religion just doesn't provide enough. You know, reality is too complex. You can't even put a definition on what this is. You can't, because it's constantly changing. Reality never stays the same, and neither do we. Even our bodies age. Everything in this age decays. This is the realm of time. So, you know, like, don't get so hung up on religion. But if you find one that works for you, good. Doesn't mean you have to try to talk other people into it. Other people are definitely not going to understand unless you find somebody who's, like, has a really close perception to yours, you know? But, yeah, so all religions relatively lead to the same place, one way or another. As long as you are able to develop a faith and a higher power. But that has to come in time, and that has to come in surrender. And you're really not going to know your life's purpose until you reach that point. We think we know what we want, and that's why we keep consuming. That's why we keep buying. We think this will make me happy. This person will make me happy. No, true happiness comes from the emptiness within. Because the more empty you are inside, the more love you have to give to the world. And that's true happiness. You know, we keep looking for love. You'll never find it. You will never find love. It comes from within. You are love. So it's ridiculous to go and try to find something that you already have. But in order to realize that, you have to reach that point of surrender. And you have to realize that doing good, whatever it is, you cook for someone, you paint for someone, you help someone fix up their house, you write for someone, you know, like, you contribute to the human race with whatever gift you're given. But you got to reach, there's going to be a point where you're like, go through the dark night of the soul. And I've been going through that, I think. I'm not sure. But you go through it where, like, your life is devoid of all meaning, and you thought what you wanted before fulfilled you, but it really didn't. So, you know, and then you start seeing how the only way, if you're going to contribute to your fellow man and woman and animals and earth, whatever you do to contribute towards the life, I think that's what it's all about. Because that's like, I guess that's my definition of happiness. Everyone has different perspectives on what they think reality is and what happiness is, you know. But sometimes being able to take a walk to reset, you know, I haven't done this in a few days. And now here I am. I'm out here taking a walk. I had to come to campus anyway. But I'm glad that I got to do this because I'm sharing with you guys, you know. And I'm getting out in nature and I'm taking a walk with all the bugs, even though it's humid and whatever. Sometimes we're in a funk. We don't want to get out of our house. Sometimes you just gotta put yourself out there. You know, uncomfortable, unfamiliar territory. Just because you don't have anything else to do today doesn't mean that you just can't go out in nature and reset. Have a conversation with God, one-on-one. Nobody else has to hear. It's okay. You know? God is there for you. In whatever form that may take. Or if it's formless, you know. A higher power of some kind has your back. Always. You can always put your faith and trust in God. Even in the darkest of situations. Life has shown me that. You know. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Subscribe, like this video. If you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more content. I'm gonna try to put a video out every 2 days. So 2 days, yeah, that's a pretty good. Now that I'm part-time, I'm gonna start doing this YouTube thing more seriously. Anyway, Boojangles out.